Let's see here. This video is called Cyberpunk 2077 just keeps getting better, which is great news considering they've got a DLC coming out very soon. It is their expansion Phantom Liberty.
Here, welcome back to the channel. And as you guys know, Cyberpunk 2077 is quickly becoming one of the most impressive comeback stories in gaming history, boasting one of the worst launches ever, and then a slow grind into one of the most popular single-player RPGs of the last decade. Developers CD Projekt Red are showing no signs of slowing down with a massive expansion currently scheduled to launch this year called Phantom Liberty. If you were one of many people who wrote Cyberpunk off after its disastrous launch, and I personally don't blame you for that, it might be a little hard to get excited for this upcoming DLC, but hopefully this video will convince you otherwise, as I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of awesome stuff in store for us, and thankfully we have a ton of official information to go off of, so you won't have.
When I played it at launch on PC, it was like more or less fine. I think I ran into one quest that I literally couldn't complete because of a glitch. And other than that though, it was really fine. Oh, and I ran into one set of mobs that like they T-posed on me. But other than that, on PC, it was pretty good. But where it seemed to really fall apart was last gen consoles, PS4, Xbox, right? Those things, it just shouldn't even have been released. It shouldn't even have been thought about being released on there.
Have to just take my word for it. So today I'm going to go over everything we know about Phantom Liberty and how it will impact the future of Cyberpunk 2077 and CD Projekt Red as a whole. As according to the recent reports, this is the biggest expansion in CDPR's history. Real quick guys, I'm giving away a PlayStation 5 for 100,000 subscribers. If you want to enter to win, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, comment your Twitter handle, follow me on Twitter, and then tweet me proof that you're subscribed. And I've also included some bonus entries in the pinned comment. The comeback story for Cyberpunk 2077 has been one of gaming's most impressive, but a lot of people just don't realize that because a lot of the gaming community wrote it off forever. Cyberpunk of course launched in December of 2020 and was the perfect way to wrap up a god-awful year because it was just a complete and utter mess. The Xbox One and PS4 versions of Cyberpunk had to be pulled from sale due
why do NPCs like to T-pose? I think that it's like the default stance, right? It's the default stance that they're in, you know, if nothing else overrides it, I'm guessing. I don't know what that is.
Due to a number of bugs and performance issues, and while the PC version functioned, it had countless issues that prevented it from being as good as it was promised to be. CD Projekt Red was even hit with a class action lawsuit that was settled in late 2021 for almost $2 million, so naturally, their reputation isn't the best right now, despite also being responsible for The Witcher 3, one of the greatest RPGs and video games ever made. To their credit though, CD Projekt Red have been dedicated to fixing up Cyberpunk and making sure that it eventually gets to the place that was initially promised, and so far, they've released 18 different DLC packs along with dozens of stability updates and patches. There was also the excellent.
They did really put in an honest effort to fix what they did wrong and fix the game after they released it in a broken state. You gotta give them credit for that at least. Shouldn't have been released in the state that it was, but dang man, they worked really hard to win everyone back. Do you think ESO crossplay is possible? Yes, it's possible, right? Anything's possible with enough money and time. Now the question is, do they want to do that? Maybe not. But dude, I'm really looking forward to the next Witcher game on Unreal Engine that they're making. They're going to get rid of this game. This whole experience was so bad. They got rid of their Red engine that they built this game on, that they built their previous Witcher titles on. This game was supposed to have multiplayer functionality that never got added because probably it was a nightmare to like duct tape to the side of this engine. Man, it would have been cool to see multiplayer action inside of Cyberpunk though. It was such a cool world.
Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime released in 2022 that did great things for fixing the franchise's reputation and kind of helping people forget how it all started in 2020. The next big thing on CD Projekt's release schedule is Phantom Liberty, and according to all of the early reports, it sounds like it's going to be a huge experience similar to the massive and critically acclaimed Witcher 3 expansions. There has been a ton of updates and patches released for Cyberpunk up to this point, but there hasn't been anything nearly of this size. According to the developers, Phantom Liberty is going to be set in a brand new district of Night City, which suggests a massive expansion to the game's map, likely in the southwestern block of the vanilla map. And one of the main characters is going to be played by none other than Idris Elba. It's also been confirmed.
Yo, that's cool. Love him. Love Idris. That's great. And it's going to be a whole new section of city. This is going to be a massive DLC. That's going to be huge. Love him though. Dude, this is not a small thing. Have they listed a price for this DLC? Is it going to be paid for? Probably.
confirmed that the expansion is not going to come out on the Xbox One and PS4 versions of the game, which tells
they learned their lesson. It's not coming out on last gen this time.
Me that it's going to be pretty technically demanding since the team is sticking with the most recent hardware. Idris Elba will be playing an FIA agent named Solomon Reed, working for the NUSA.
They're like, nope, not making that mistake again. Nope. Oh, did that not go well? Yeah, we're not going to be releasing this on those last gen consoles. We finally have everyone happy with us again. And there was some executive somewhere, that was like, are you guys sure? Like, if we do it on those last gen consoles, we could get a lot more sales, guys. And they're like, God, dude, I swear if you ask one more time.
While caught in the middle of an espionage mission. As for the story of Phantom Liberty, the studio has described it as a spy thriller, a pretty drastic shift in tone from the base game, which was more of a sci-fi noir. Now, there's actually already a ton of little bits and pieces of the story hidden around the map. For instance, NPCs as they talk about criminals being disposed of in the new region, and so much more. There's also a handful of collectibles hidden around the game right now, talking about the Pacifica Combat Zone and the parties interested in it, as well as the conflicts between them that we'll likely learn more about in the upcoming expansion. CDPR have confirmed that the expansion will have a whole new cast of characters, as well as a number of returning fan favorites like Keanu Reeves, who recently confirmed that he was coming back as Johnny for the DLC. There will also be a whole new radio station added to the game, likely containing 12 to 15 new tracks. CDPR is clearly trying to
Edgerunner basically ruined that one song for me in a good and a bad way. I can't listen to it without it being sad now, but it was such a good song. They sent him to Disney World for that week of meetings. Woo, yeah, I'm excited though. Idris and Keanu, this thing had to be expensive.
To make the game world even deeper than before, and with this new shift in tone to a spy thriller, I can't wait to see what the team has in store for us. This could end up being one of the deepest narratives in Cyberpunk's life cycle so far, and if it's done well, it could even stand toe-to-toe with the narrative of The Witcher 3. Although I wouldn't get ahead of myself too much there, as those are some massive shoes to fill, and the last thing CDPR needs right now is more disappointed fans. So when is this huge expansion coming out? Unfortunately, CD Projekt Red have not confirmed any release date for Phantom Liberty, other than the reassurance that it will be released in 2023. Since we're already 2 months into 2023, the lack of a release date kind of suggests that it won't be coming out until the second half of the year. But then again, more games have been stealth launching or only getting a few months of hype. And since Phantom Liberty is an expansion instead of a true game, it's very likely that CD Projekt will only want a month or two of marketing once.
So one of the biggest problems with Cyberpunk, as far as their reputation went, was how overhyped it got. People were expecting it to be like the best thing that's ever been created, and like they thought it was going to be something that no game could live up to. So I won't be surprised if they take this game and they just kind of like, yeah, we're launching it like in a month. Please don't get overexcited, go in with low expectations and be pleased. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of undersold it this time so that everyone was pleasantly surprised.
They reveal the release date. Granted, the studio has confirmed that a Game of the Year edition of Cyberpunk 2077 will be releasing at some point after the DLC is, but since a release date hasn't been confirmed for that either, we can't really use that as a gauge for when Phantom Liberty will come out. For reference, the Game of the Year edition of The Witcher 3, which included all of the DLC, dropped in August of 2016, roughly 15 months after the game came out, and about 3 months after the final DLC. Obviously, Cyberpunk has already been out for well over 15 months, but if we're trying to figure out when the Game of the Year edition will come out, I'm expecting that to drop 3 to 4 months after the Phantom Liberty expansion releases. But that doesn't get us any closer to a Phantom Liberty release date, does it? Honestly, I have no idea when this thing is coming out, but I do have a theory. Even though there isn't a release date set in stone right now, the developers seem adamant that a 2023 release date will happen, so I'm expecting to hear something soon. So far, Microsoft and Nintendo hosted major showcases, and Sony is expected to follow suit as well. The first few months of every year is usually when the major game companies host some kind of showcase or series of announcements, so their audience and their investors can see what kind of plans they have for the next 12 to 18 months. The question is, will CDPR wait until E3 to show off Phantom Liberty, or will they drop a trailer on their own? CD Projekt Red has never been a company that was too concerned with showing up to big conferences or showcases, and I kind of respect that. They know that people love them and will pay attention to whatever announcements they make. Heck, they announced all of their upcoming projects in a Twitter thread last year, which you can't deny is a pretty baller move. That being said, it's been confirmed that the 3 big boys of gaming, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, will likely not be attending E3 this year, so that might end up being a
None of the big boys are attending E3. Wait, when is E3? When is E3? Is E3 June? Shadow drop trailer. Yeah, like I said, they're probably trying to undersell this one. E3's dead. Dude, that's rough. What's that about? Everyone's doing their own personal shows now, maybe? Or like the Game Awards. The Game Awards in December this year popped off kind of hard because D4 being there. There's some big announcements. Like that was unexpectedly exciting. There's some cool stuff there, but weird. Yeah.
Prime position for CD Projekt Red when you think about it. Unless of course the big three have showcases around E3, then they would likely just be a part of those showcases, but they could likely wait until a Microsoft showcase to give us the release date and reveal more information regarding Phantom Liberty. Revealing things at a big showcase would be the perfect opportunity for them to try and win back a bunch of people over after so many gamers were driven away by them following the disastrous launch. So while a part of me thinks that CDPR will want to reveal Phantom Liberty within the next few months, I think it's very possible that they're instead going to hold on to everything until E3 and then do a more lengthy showcase while also possibly revealing more details or possibly even other trailers for their upcoming Witcher games. But that brings me to my biggest concern. Now up until this point, CDPR have worked on a single project at a time, which kind of resulted to infrequent game launches but massive experiences with tons of content and a lot of polish.
True.
However, not only did the launch of Cyberpunk 2077 hurt my confidence in them, but they also announced last year that they're changing their strategy moving forward. From now on, they're going to be working on multiple AAA projects at a time, and there are currently a number of new games in development in addition to the Phantom Liberty expansion. As of the recording of this video,
That's true. I wonder if that's going to result in them making games that are like, instead of being 200 hours of potential playtime, it's like 40 or anything like that, or like kind of mini experiences relative to the massive ones they've been making. Like the Cyberpunk was huge. It was kind of on the scale of like Witcher, where you could play for nearly indefinitely, man. All hail Jeff Cayley. Who's that? COVID being around, companies are still doing their own showcases. You think that's what it is?
CDPR is
kind of keeping it inside.
4 new full-fledged games and a remake of the first Witcher, and that's even without mentioning the upcoming Cyberpunk expansion. In fact, there's even a sequel to Cyberpunk 2077 in development, so you have to wonder just how much.
Yo, there's already a sequel in development? I didn't know there was one for Cyberpunk. That makes me really excited. Wonder if that's in Unreal Engine also. Probably, because they want to do all that online stuff that they weren't able to get into this one. He's the guy doing the Summer Game Fest, the successor to E3. Wait, was E3 like legitimately canceled?
Much of that is going to impact the final state of Phantom Liberty. Is Phantom Liberty going to be pushed back due to Cyberpunk 2, or will it be rushed through in order to give Cyberpunk more hands on deck for other projects? And if CDPR was overwhelmed during the development of Cyberpunk 2077, just how much better are they going to fare now? Especially now that they're working on 4 games and 1 remake and a massive expansion. Needless to say, I'm worried about the state of this company and their output, regardless of how much I love their previous work. I'll never deny that they're incredibly talented and they've done amazing things to dig Cyberpunk out of the hole that they made, but I'm really worried about where all of this thing is going. There's been so many great studios in the gaming world that were run into the ground because they were simply overworked and overwhelmed. So you probably can imagine my concern regarding the future of CDPR.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're going to start making like what, 3 projects at once or whatever it is. Like you look back at like Bethesda and they're still pretty much a 1 game at a time studio. And every time they make a game, it's massive, it's huge, it's hugely successful. We're excluding Fallout 76 here, right? But everything else, they make it and they put a lot of time and effort into it and love, and it just comes out amazing. I do wonder what it will do to the quality of these franchises from CD Projekt Red.
Overall, Phantom Liberty sounds like it's going to be an amazing expansion and a great addition to the Cyberpunk legacy, but only time will tell if CDPR makes it happen. This company rapidly lost a lot of trust of gamers everywhere, but they've been slowly getting themselves out of that state. The launch of Cyberpunk still stings for a lot of gamers around the world, and with the developer taking on new projects at once, I just hope they're giving themselves the space and time they need to continue pumping out good products like they did in the 2000s and 2010s. Now, if I were to bet on it, I would expect to see a big demonstration of Phantom Liberty at E3 with a launch in the fall or winter of this year, and then the Game of the Year edition to drop sometime in early to mid 2024, but obviously that's just speculation. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up with this video.
Dude, I think if I remember my Cyberpunk playthrough, I unlocked this double jump ability or some such thing, And I started just like jumping up skyscrapers, and I just started going wherever I could go, you know, and seeing how far up and how high I could go and how long I could go without breaking the game. I think I eventually found a place where like you could fall through it and stuff, you know, no non-collision up in the tops of skyscrapers and stuff. But it was cool, man. It was cool tooling around the game, kind of breaking it with that ability.
Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Are you excited for Phantom Liberty? Do you think that CD Projekt Red is going to be able to pull this one off? Let me know down below. Guys, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel with your notifications turned on, and don't forget to enter the 100,000 subscriber giveaway. Guys, we are just 2,000 subscribers away from the goal, so I'll be giving away a PS5 and a game copy of your choice. The details are in the pinned comment. Thank you all for watching. This has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.
Nice, good video, good recap. Wes looks like he hit his 100K goal. Congrats to him, dude. Congrats. That's big. Let's see. Here you go. There's the video. If you guys want to check it out, like it, follow, subscribe to Wes. Name is Wes Nemo. And the video was Cyberpunk 2077 just keeps getting better. True, and it really has, man.